At last, we have been waiting for this battle. Conquest against Battle Beast. Enjoy watching. After defeating Juggernaut and Colossus, Battle Beast had no reason to stay on Fontania. He didn't want to waste his time, as he still had to find a worthy opponent capable of giving him a glorious death. However, he would still have to linger on this god-forsaken planet because the one we've all been waiting for has finally appeared. Conquest arrived with his signature line, "Prepare for my arrival, worm." Battle Beast wonders exactly who Conquest just called a worm, which brings a smile to the old man's face, along with the statement that he already likes Toke. King Salaka, his eyes burning with anger, states that addressing him without a written invitation is forbidden. Furthermore, he is against them being treated like worms. All of this amused Conquest. Before the situation could get out of hand, he decided to introduce himself. He is here to represent the interests of the Viltrumite Empire, which has cast its gaze upon their world and might be interested in adding Fontania to its ranks. It seems his information was incorrect, though. The Viltrumites were told that this world, Fontania, was under the control of two incredibly powerful beings from the legendary land of MSO. Now, Conquest was interested in where these monsters, Juggernaut and Colossus, actually were. It then turned out that both had not only been killed by Battle Beast, but also eaten by him, which of course sparked Conquest's curiosity along with a smile. By the way, whose side are you on Conquest's side or Battle Beast's? Let me know in the comments. The old man inquires if his companion defeated both monsters at the same time, to which he hears that it was a piece of cake. After that, Conquest learns his name, Toke, better known as Battle Beast. This information amused Conquest. He liked the nickname. Moreover, he considered himself a Battle Beast as well. King Salaka invites Conquest to dinner, but the latter is only interested in whether Toke will keep them company.
Next, we are shown the feast. The Viltrumite and the Dorny warrior sit on opposite sides of the table, drilling each other with their stares, while the king expresses his hope for a strong alliance between his people and the Viltrumites. Grabbing a hefty piece of food from the table, Conquest asks a question. Are his kinsmen the same kind of warriors as he is? Salaka naively assumes the question is addressed to him. Then the old man clarifies that he was talking about Tok. Tok, in turn, says that his people are proud warriors. He himself is from the planet Dorn. With his strength and fury, Tok established an era of peace and prosperity, after which he left his homeland to pursue other matters. The beast expresses regret that there was no one among his kind who matched his strength. That was his curse. In turn, the old man understands him, what it feels like not to fit into the mold and stand apart. Furthermore, if he wasn't mistaken, Tok's homeland was part of the coalition of planets, an alliance created to oppose the Viltrumites. However, Battle Beast knew nothing about the coalition since he had left his home a long time ago. Conquest was intrigued. What kind of interests was his companion pursuing then? To which he heard that he was looking for his own death. This answer pleased the old man. He was already anticipating the upcoming slaughter. King Salaka tries to wedge himself into their conversation. Letting out a nervous chuckle, he states that after the prolonged tyranny of the Titans, Fontania is currently not in its best shape. However, it used to be a thriving technological marvel, and now, as king, he is doing everything possible to reach that level again. However, all of this mattered very little to Conquest. He was here strictly for the slaughter. The old man had arrived here to fight the legendary Titans, and since they were killed, he was interested in Battle Beast, the warrior who managed to destroy the monsters all by himself. Conquest asks a question. Just how strong does Battle Beast consider himself to be? Tok replies that he has never met anyone before who could surpass him. Salaka doesn't like where the conversation is heading. He tells the old man that he's interested in an alliance with Conquest's people. The king hoped that the gray-haired old man had come here for that very reason. Then Conquest slams his hand on the table. It enraged him that a tiny worm is thinking about an alliance, when in reality, becoming part of the Viltrum Empire meant something entirely different. Tok states that their guest's name speaks louder than anything about his intentions. Conquest says that usually, when he's sent on a mission, it means his superiors want to acquire something. for example, two incredibly powerful creatures. Salaka tries everything to lower the tension. He suggests discussing the benefits of cooperating with Fontania in more detail before everything gets out of hand. But Conquest is categorically against the proposal brought forward by the pathetic worm. It would be far more interesting to see how difficult it is to make the kitty wash itself with its own blood.
The beast prepares to take on the fight. Finally, his rage had been boiling for so long that he thought he would explode. He had restrained himself on this planet for so long just to avoid slaughtering anyone who crossed his path, including the civilian population. He calls upon the old man to fight. Talk doubts that this guy will bring him a worthy death, but at least he will entertain him for a little while and relieve him of his deadly boredom. Conquest suggests that his opponent knows very little about the Viltrumites, implying their power. However, Battle Beast says that he has fought monsters of much greater sizes. Furthermore, he wouldn't waste his time on a little guy like Conquest, but as long as he is stuck on this planet, it's the perfect time to have some fun. The big cat orders his sword, Draskula, to be brought to him, which thirsts for the blood of his opponents. Conquest wants to test the beast's durability. He has no desire to see what kind of damage the beast can inflict with the help of a sword. What mattered was his true strength, after which he lunges at the beast and takes off into flight with him. The beast notes the old man's speed, while the latter points out that the cat doesn't know how to fly. After the fall, Battle Beast scales a building and rushes toward the hovering Viltrumite, grabs him by the throat and strikes with his claws. Conquest didn't expect such a lightning-fast attack. He grabs his opponent by the throat. Metal digs deep into the poor lion's flesh. The old man has good news and bad news, and they come down to the fact that he is taking Battle Beast seriously. He repositions Talk and slams him down onto the landmarks of Fontania. Heading toward the fallen beast, he says that his leadership claimed the Juggernaut Colossi were serious opponents, and the fact that the beast killed them alone is unsurprising. Conquest ended up on Fontania because of them, and the fact that the beast was able to defeat them both meant only one thing: the Empire will surely want to acquire him. But that by no means meant Conquest couldn't play around with his opponent. The old man hoped that the beast would come to his senses as soon as possible, as he had high hopes for him. After which, the beast leaps up and gets his magical sword. However, Conquest easily blocks the attack and kicks the cat away, sending him flying. Conquest doesn't recognize weapons, to which the beast states that there is no shame in it. Moreover, he is convinced that for most, a Viltrumite's resistance itself is perceived as a true weapon. Conquest attacks the beast, while the latter tries to strike him with the sword. To show that toys are useless against a Viltrumite, Conquest easily bites the magical blade in half. To say that Talk was impressed is an understatement. After that, Conquest says that Talk doesn't know a damn thing about Viltrumites, and his toy is useless against him. However, Talk declares that he is proud to always be prepared for a battle, regardless of the opponent. He is ready to kill and ready to die. He prefers to test his opponent, to learn his abilities and weaknesses. Moreover, he believes that Conquest doesn't know a damn thing about him. For instance, the fact that his blade is unusual, that Draskula is a magical sword that cuts through a Viltrumite body like butter. Conquest smiles, because real fun awaits him ahead. Subscribe to the channel and leave a like if you enjoyed this video. See you all soon, and adios bananas!